Remember the ABC News debate? Remember the way the moderators were just one-sided? The excuses that came out? The alleged whistleblower? The responses from major Disney executives? You thought the story was over. We're here to say it's just getting started. And folks, the fallout is so significant, it likely has now changed who will be the next CEO of the Walt Disney Company.
Got to talk about Kamala Harris. Obviously, the far right has come after you, saying you're friends with her, so the debate was biased. What do you say?
I really don't want to dignify it with much of a response. I have the highest regard for everyone at ABC News. It's the most professional organization, the most top-notch journalists, and it doesn't really dignify much of a response.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel that simply gives you the truth ahead of other sources you might go to. And we're happy that you're here with us today. Get ready. This is a big one. As we drop into today's topic, consider clicking the like button, and we shall start with AdWeek. But I promise we have doozy after doozy today. AdWeek is going to give us a headline that makes it seem like things are just fine with ABC News, CBS News, NBC News, etc. But that is not at all the case. And we're going to show you how things are so bad that it's actually changing the entire trajectory of the company. In fact, news just broke this morning, if you're watching this video at the time of release, regarding huge changes coming to the company. All right, the headline, again, a little bit misleading. Week of October 7, evening news ratings. All three networks see week-to-week gains. Oh boy, well, things are going swell, right? ABC News and NBC News scored double-digit demo gains. Hold on, folks. Not all is what it seems. Let's dive into the paragraphs and you'll find out what we're talking about. As we do so, remember that news ratings are a big deal because this is October and it is getting close now to the presidential election. So that means that ratings should be skyrocketing for news organizations. This is the Super Bowl of all Super Bowls. And we can see that if we go to YouTube statistics and look at all of our political channels out there, political commentators out there, they're doing fantastic. Now, I am not one of those commentators, and I don't go into politics. Today, we're covering ratings, entertainment, and we're covering the impact to Disney based on decisions they made with their news organization, but partisan, we are not. This is an article by Mark Mwachero. It says, talk about a hat trick. ABC News, NBC News, and CBS News all saw gains in total viewers in the advertiser-coveted adults 25 to 54 demo for the week of October 7th. Folks, do you know why the ratings went up? They went up because people were watching about the hurricane. Well, both hurricanes, actually. The hurricane fallout from Helene and the Hurricane Milton issues. So people were watching to get the latest news on hurricanes. Hold on, though. I promise. We're going to get to why this is still devastating for Disney. Hang on. You won't believe it. Dropping down, it says ABC World News with David Muir, one of the moderators from that divisive debate, averaged 7.453 million total viewers and 1.087 million in the coveted age 25 to 54 viewers for the week, which translates to respective gains of 5% and 16% compared to the previous week. Because again, people were tuning in to find out what's going on with the hurricane. Now, we could cover NBC and CBS, but for now, we will not. We're going to skip down because there's something really important here. If we go to this line right here, looking at its performance, talking about ABC World News. Looking at its performance alongside the same week in 2023. No hurricane in the week of 2023, same week. No hurricane then, and no presidential election. No big election on the way. World News today was down 1% in total viewers and down 2% in the demographic. In other words, compared to 2023, despite a presidential election and despite hurricanes, 2 hurricanes with devastating impacts, ratings for the news is down. Is it up week to week? Yes, but that's because the ratings for the prior week were absolute garbage. And why are they garbage? Why is it? How is it possible that it takes 2 hurricanes, and by the way, we're not happy about that, but 2 hurricanes and a presidential election to get ABC News to only be down 1% and 2% compared to the prior year when none of that was happening? How can that possibly be? Well, To understand, let's go to the wrap. This is by Sharon Waxman. It says the Emmys, Disney Succession, and Dana Walden's Moment. Remember that Dana Walden is the lady she's the head of Disney TV. She's the head of ABC News. She's the head of all of this, and she was supposed to be the next CEO. Fresh off the historic Emmy wins and the highly praised presidential debate, Walden is on a roll. This is the way that Hollywood viewed the last few months. This came out September 16th, and I'm going to show you how things are going for them. Did Dana Walden just inch a step closer to the front-runner position for succession of the Walt Disney Company? Well, we've all been saying this, right? If you've watched this channel, you've heard us say many times that Dana Walden was easily in the lead. But do you know why Dana Walden was in the lead to be the next CEO of the Disney Company? Well, because she's besties with Kamala Harris. So if Harris wins, Dana Walden is a huge asset to the company as CEO. What better could you do than to have your CEO be besties with the president? But if Kamala Harris doesn't win, Dana Walden brings almost nothing to the table any longer. Let's take a look at this. CEO Bob Iger hovered nearby like a proud papa, having sat supportively beside his star executive at the Emmy Awards earlier in the evening. At his core, Iger is a TV guy, having come to Disney from Cap City's ABC in 1996. He actually comes from ABC News. He was a weatherman. And he was very much in his element. There was a lot to celebrate. Disney certainly knew it was in for a big night at the Emmys, which aired on the company's own ABC network. Oh, I'm shocked. However could they have gotten all those awards? But even so, they could not have known the company would take home a record 60 Emmy statues, including a record-breaking 19 awards for Shogun, 11 awards for The Bear, and a bunch more for Ron Howard's Jim Henson Idea Man and Hulu's Only Murders in the Building. FX alone took home 36 Emmys. If only it could get ratings, darn it. But they're really good at picking up trophies. But it is not Walden's only win of late, and here's where they say the quiet part out loud. But it is not Walden's only win of late. In the wake of the successful ABC News debate last week between Trump and Harris, moderators David Muir and Lindsay Davis winning widespread praise for handling Trump's lies. And a massive 67 million Americans tuning in, suffice to say that Walden is on a roll. Let's review this paragraph. In the debate that we talked about, in which there was an alleged whistleblower, and then Disney came out and essentially, admitted to many of the claims. We didn't get the audio files, and some people said, well, there's nothing to this whistleblower then. Well, Disney admitted to like 90%, in my estimation, about 90% of what the whistleblower was alleging. So I don't know if there even was a whistleblower. I don't know if it was manufactured or not. I just know that Disney seems to me to have copped to most of the stuff. They admitted that they practiced and rehearsed multiple sessions with their moderators on fact-checking. They admitted that they fact-checked only one candidate, and they admitted that the reason for that was to prevent another CNN-style debate where one side lost. They wanted the other side to lose. Okay? And here's the paragraph again. And by the way, I'm not telling you whether or not you should like that or not. That's up to you to decide based on your politics. I'm just telling you what happened, what transpired. So the paragraph says that the ABC News debate was successful. Okay? Why was it successful? Well, it says the moderators won praise. Okay, from who? From whom? Because everybody that I know who watched that, who's either apolitical, nonpartisan, moderate, or conservative, didn't like it. It's only the people who were on the left side of things who enjoyed that. So, yeah, you won praise with 30% of the total demographic. Most people are centrists, as most people just want a fair fight. So, and by the way, again, trying very hard not to be political here, but the polling shift after the debate did not go the way that many of these people anticipated. We can see that, by the way, now. And so why did they win widespread praise from whoever it is that the rap likes? Well, for handling one candidate's lies. That's it. So they did a good job. And they got ratings in doing so. And apparently it's all credited to Dana Walden, who remember, is besties with Kamala Harris, even to the point that Dana Walden, who was presumed to be the next CEO of the Disney company, introduced Kamala Harris to her husband, Doug. That's how close they are. All right. So Dana Walden was predicted to be the next CEO because, essentially, of the debate. And because the debate was supposed, we know this now. The debate was supposed to ensure that one candidate won. This would be the end of the Orange Man. And Dana Walden would be credited with it. And not only would Dana Walden be credited with it, but also she would get the prize of being the head honcho of the House of Mouse. And the House of Mouse would have a direct connection, a direct line to the executive branch that would help them out with everything. So then what really happened as a result? Well, let's find out. Folks, I'm here to tell you, things are not going the way they anticipated, nor did they intend. And as a result, changes are on the way. This is out of Scott Gustin, who I believe is pulling this from, gosh, folks, CNBC, I think, is who had the original scoop on this. I want to give proper credit where proper credit is due, but Scott Gustin is carrying it here on X. It says, new, James P. Gorman will succeed Mark Parker as Disney Board Chairman effective January 2nd, 2025. Disney's next CEO will be revealed in early 2026. All right, let's click on this and let's read it. I just want people to understand. It says the Walt Disney Company board names James P. Gorman as chairman. He will succeed Mark G. Parker, who is departing after 9 years of service on the Disney board. And what this means is Mark G. Parker is the head of the Disney board currently, and he is also the former CEO of Nike. And Mark G. Parker had tremendous connections with China. That's essentially why he was there in my estimation. Gorman is an institutionalist. He comes from the big banks. And so his job has been to find the next CEO. However, Parker is not just leaving the head of the board. Parker's leaving the board flat out. And Gorman is taking over as the head of the board. Why does that matter? Well, because Gorman's job has been to find the CEO, and now he's going to be so far in control of everything with the new CEO that he'll be the head of the board. So Gorman is essentially being put in as a babysitter, it seems to me. Bob Iger is also unlikely to leave entirely. So what are we to say of all this? And by the way, here's James P. Gorman. Scott Gustin is pulling this from Business Wire, but I think CNBC had the full story. We'll pull this up real quick. So this is the article that Gustin is using. Gorman is executive chairman of Morgan Stanley. So there you go. That's the big bank institutional angle of this. Now, if Dana Walden was going to be the CEO, and if this was an easy selection, they would not need to put an institutionalist who's been in charge of picking the CEO at the top of the board. He already has a ton of work that he has to do inside the industry. Having him be now the head of Disney's board is another major task to add. And I suspect it's to make sure that there's a smooth transition. What I think this may mean is that the selection for the next CEO is now indeterminate. In other words, if the debate had succeeded, and if they could have got their best friend in as the president, which that may still happen, but if all that was an easy road, Dana Walden had an easy road. Now, because none of that worked the way they had intended, at least it doesn't seem to be working, now it's up in the air. And there's not a really good selection for them in-house to be the next CEO. You could talk about James Pitaro, who's the head of ESPN, but certainly is not qualified to be the next CEO. You could talk about Alan Bergman, whose box office up until just recently was terrible for Disney. You could talk about Josh D'Amaro, but his experience as the head of parks has been abysmal. And I just want to show you what we're looking at. Remember how we talked about the situation with the ratings where they're trying to say, oh, week to week it's up, but then you compare year to year and you're like, wait a minute, 2 hurricanes in a presidential election and you're still down? I want to show you this. This is out of Script Trooper over on X. I just want to show you how things are going for entertainment. It says the next 5 years, Star Wars will be a dangling corpse puppeteered by people who refuse to take responsibility for killing it. Let's go down here and look. Star Wars popularity over time. Just take a look at that. I don't even have to give commentary about it. And you know it's true. And it's true for Star Wars, and it's looking true, except for Deadpool and Wolverine, which is, by the way, a Bob Chapek project and done completely separate from Disney. It's true for Marvel. It's true for their ABC News division. The only thing that's propping up Disney right now, they've had a couple of really big wins at the box office, and Hulu. That's it. This chart looks similar for the demand for their Disney parks. I mean, it is crazy how much this company is being diminished. And they were betting it all on, regardless of the results of their efforts financially and their efforts corporately, they were betting it all on having a bestie in the White House. It's failed. At least it seems to be going in that direction. And that means that they are completely up in the air as to who they're going to go with now. It is amazing. Folks, that's why headlines such as AdWeek has, all three networks see week-to-week gains. And you go look down, it's not week-to-week with double E's. It's week-to-week, W-E-A-K to W-E-A-K. That's what I say. Everything is spiraling right now for Disney. All right, folks, that is the video for today. We hope you enjoyed. Hope we brought you information that you would not find anywhere else. It's unbelievable to see that despite everything they've tried, their news division and their other divisions are down at a time when they should be in the Super Bowl of all Super Bowls. And now you know that's actually having an impact on the trajectory of who's going to be the next CEO. And positions are changing. Timelines are shifting. They would have loved to have gotten the CEO announcement for Dana Wallen out in November. It'll be early 2026 now. All right, folks, like, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on all of this. We would love to hear from you. And folks, don't forget, we're switching to 2 Pro Shows weekly starting next week. The final week of October, Pro Show goes to Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon Eastern. We can't wait to see you there. We'll be having lots and lots of fun. And of course, That Park Place Live has a new time slot as well. I think they're announcing it this week during the show. All right, folks, now you know more because you stopped by. An attitude of gratitude every time you do so. Happy to have spent time with you. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Okay, these colors just seem to conflict with your natural tone.
Wilton, what are you doing?
Obviously, we're getting Jose ready to throw his name in the hat to be the next CEO of Disney.
That's ridiculous. He's not qualified for that kind of role.
Well, of course he is. He's a wonderful candidate for a corporate puppet.
What on earth is happening?
He's literally a foreign agent by all accounts. You think honoring boundaries is a thing? No! This is Disney! He's got diversity points, green skin, and a wig. And most importantly, he likes to destroy things and blow them up, whether they're from the past or from now. He shows no discrimination.
Okay, you know what? I really can't argue with any of that. So,
right?
You two have fun. I'm gonna go read thatparkplace.com and watch WDW
Okay,
Pro.
bye. Okay, Jose, say magical experiences.
I already hate this.